Good morning, student. Standard 10 Geography Population. Last time we saw the comparative study of India and Brazil in terms of population. Now also we will find, but here we will see the data, statistical data, which is favorable also to mention it on map as well as graph. Definitely we have to study graph and map this year. But the important factor here is that because of this statistical data, we can easily assess, can easily get to understand what exactly population denotes. What is the importance of population in terms of census? We see that the last census of Brazil, as we are here to study, is 2010. That of India is 2011. The beginning of the decade, the end of the decade. That is the difference between the two countries. But the timeline is 10 years only. So every 10 years, as the population goes on, or its census goes on, we come to know that in 2010, for the first time, we have to understand again that in 2010 in Brazil, the land Brazil occupied of the world was 5.6%. But in 5.6% of the land, it had only 19 crore of the population. Density 19 crore in 5.6% is 23% per square kilometer. Just 23% per square kilometer. And the population of the world comparatively is 2.4. Now comparatively, the land for India is 2.78%, that means less, or Brazil is double the land of India, but population is 121 crore. Brazil having only 19 crore, India 121 crore. We are speaking of 2011 census. After that, density in Brazil is just 23. India, it converts into 382 person per square kilometer. When we consider the whole of India, that is 2.78% of land. Going through this data, you can easily understand what the pressure of population must be on India. And compared to the world population in terms of percentage, Brazil is just having 2.4%. Brazil is having 5.6% of the land, whereas population is 2.4%. India is having 2.78% of the land, 17.5% of the population. Now, this is where the total difference is. But while studying this, try to understand, in the beginning, we were being told, or as we studied, Brazil as well as India, both were the colonies of the Europeans. Both were the colonies of the Europeans. Now, after that, Brazil became independent long ago, but had to face military dictatorship, military rule for a long time, whereas that was not the case in India. After 1947, India became independent, that is 15th of August 1947, India as an independent nation started with democratic republic setup, until today is going with a democratic setup. But in Brazil, there was a military rule, and both the nations, India as well as Brazil, suffered economic losses due to various reasons. In India, there was a time when India had to face 3 wars with Pakistan and China. That was the decade when India's economy totally collapsed. After that, the political setup again renewed itself. India again is on the verge of economic development. So is Brazil also. But when we study the distribution of the resources, Brazil is far ahead of India. In India, India is divided into urban and rural centers. In Brazil, there is no rural center. Every area that Brazil is having, its population is well equipped with all the amenities and facilities that government must provide. But even though we have to understand that Brazil's population is confined to 300 kilometers of the catchment from east to southeast coastal regions of Brazil. In India, it is not. That means population distribution all over the country in India and Brazil is not even. It's totally uneven. In India also there are places where population is very sparse and some where it's heavy. Though we study at the national level that India's density of population is 382 person per square kilometer, yet in Delhi, in Mumbai, it goes up to 1000 person per square kilometer. Now, this is where the resources are being indiscriminately used, but to support the livelihood of the people. More of the electricity, more will be the pressure on fossil fuels. More the potable water they need, definitely it will affect the flowing water of the rivers. More the amenities the people will be needing to lead their life will put pressure on all the necessities that the nation is having. In turn, we know that because of higher population or because of the excessive in India, it is termed as population explosion. And because of this, many ill effects are seen in India. Crime, one of the most important. Apart from that, corruption. Apart from that, pollution of air, water, sound. Even the pollution is increasing in our day-to-day life in terms of food. Organic food is now being propagated more because of the fertilizers, insecticides, pesticides used more in agriculture, and one, deforestation. In the name of agriculture, in the name of industrialization, in the name of developmental facilities, in the name of transportation, that is railways, roadways, or even airways, aerodromes as being constructed, more of the area which was otherwise to be under the agriculture or forest are now being used in the developmental processes. Even the cities, as they are expanding, the land that was once under the agricultural area is now under the span of. This is why the jungles of India are decreasing rapidly. But to certain extent, this is also going on in Brazil. Even the climate of Brazil is affected now. We have studied that. In Brazil, because of Amazon, it's called as the lungs of the world. That is true. The lungs of the world in turn have also enriched the life of the Brazilians. But now, in the name of industrialization, multinational companies entering into Brazil, indiscriminately using the resources of Brazil. One among them is forest. So naturally, deforestation is taking place on large. But at the same time, we have to understand certain things which directly affects the population. And for that, we will start with the sex ratio. What is exactly the sex ratio? Throughout the world, we see that the world is a male-dominated society. Keep this in mind. Male-dominated society. So naturally, population of the male is more than that of the women. And this is how we study the sex ratio. Per 1000 male, per 1000 man, the number of the women as compared is said to be a sex ratio. But when it comes to Brazil, in Brazil, sex ratio is not the same as it is in India. In India, men are more. Men outnumber the women. In Brazil, women outnumber the men. Since long time in Brazil, women are more in number. What must be the reason? Definitely you can get it. It's more interesting. There are certain reasons, definitely. In India also, there is a state where we find women are more. There are certain districts in Maharashtra where women are more than that of the men. But in Maharashtra, when we study, we can understand that in some belts of the Konkan, when people or person or male, because of their employment, moves towards Thane, Palghar, Mumbai, and then again come back in Saturday and Sunday holidays or weekends, are part and parcel or native of that Konkan area. But because during counting they are at the working site, the population of women is more. This is not the case in other states. In other states, really, in some states, not other, one or two states of India, in particularly one state of South India, women outnumbers the men. Definitely. What must be the reason? You will have to find it, and it is more interesting if you try to get the answer. These are the social ingredients which tells us how the society is, how the society can be. Apart from that, when it comes to the sex ratio in India, since 1991 or till 1991, women were considerably too less in number. That means males number was on high. But after 1991, because of the literacy rate, because of the canvassing, that is advertisement carried on by the government, also the health department, Chota Parivar, Sukhi Parivar, these slogans created an awareness, and since 1991, slight increase in the number of women is going on. That means the sex ratio is, though even today more in India, is now fluctuating. And it is now on a constant verge where women are slowly increasing in number. Then we will have to find the age. Age structure is most important. Age, as it is being divided into three different groups, particularly 0 to 13, totally dependent. We are dependent on our parents. 0 to 13 is a dependent age where students go for education, or whatever the necessity of a child is being sufficed by, is being provided by, taken care by his parents. But from 14 to 40 is a young age, is also a working age, and this is the main asset of any country. So 14 to 40 and 41 to 60, that is 14 to 60 is a working group. 14 to 60 is a working group, and 60 plus is again dependent but experienced group. Means there are two dependent groups, one totally on parents, second maybe on the next generation, that is children. That is after the age of 60 one gets retired in India, and because of that they are called as, or they are termed as dependent group. But after all, they have the experience of life. This makes them more important. The experience of life during the hard times provides us the links or the lines or the guidance how to come out of it. So naturally they are important. But this age group, that is 14 to 60, is a working group, and all over the world India is having the highest number of younger people. That is why India today is also said as to be a young country. Because of this, the people working in India, or the age group of the Indians more in the working class, work is carried on in India on a large scale, resulting it or making it into a faster developing country. Naturally, the effects of the positive attitude is always positive, and so India is developing country. There are many countries of the world which are developing. Near about 100 countries of the world are termed as developing countries, but among them India and China are more developing because they have this working class more in you. In India, younger people are more. Even in China, when we speak, even in Japan, as an example, when we go compared to Brazil, the aged person, that is 60 plus, is more, and this is where India moves ahead of. But this also supports the Indian economy. It is because of this that the work carried on in India is on large scale, and naturally it favors the economy of the nation. It favors the working of the nation. It also favors the working according to the technological equipments or developments, as we call it. The latest technology is easily accepted by the younger class compared to that of the seniors. And because of that, there is a huge leap, a long leap is taken by India in the name of development. So, while we are studying this, we also have to go with the growth rate. What exactly is the growth rate? Growth rate of India, as we see, as far as Brazil is concerned, it is said that the policy of the government of Brazil is in such a way, that the population will not increase very high in the next coming 2 decades, that is 20 years. Brazil's today's population is near about 11 crore. 11 crore plus, definitely. Sorry, 11 not, 19 crore. 19 crore plus. But it will not increase more. Whereas in India, it is not the same. In India, definitely the Growth rate has decreased, but it is not stable and it is going on. The number itself is very large. Estimated that if it is same going 2050 and onwards, India may overtake China. India may overtake China. But these are all just what we assume. But in reality, in 2001 to 2011, 18.2 crore in these 10 years, 2001 to 2011, 18.2 crore people of India were added to its population. That is, in 10 years, India had the population of Brazil. India had the population of Brazil. Now, according to the ratio, we can understand what pressure in India it must be on the government to provide all the necessities to these people. Less area, more people. Less resources, more demand. And both developing economies. Just the other side is that in India, younger generation is more. So the dependency of the government on other countries is less compared to that of Brazil. But in Brazil, a vast land is available, made available for the people. They have the resources in abundance, not in case with that of India. Well, after that, we come to a literacy rate, and this is the most important. Literacy rate determines a nation's quality. Though population is in terms of quantity, literacy determines the quality. In 2016 and 2018, a comparative study. Brazil in 2018 had a literacy rate of 74.6, that is 2 ahead of India. India was just 40.8. In 1981, India was having just 40.8% of the population as literate compared to 74.6 of the Brazil. When it comes to 2016, the last part, India was having 72.2%. India was having 72.2% of the population as literate, whereas Brazil is too close to its 100%. More than 90% of the population of Brazil is literate. Now, this is where we have to understand sex ratio. This is where we have to understand the age structure, and this also determines the growth rate. The literacy is something which makes people aware of, and they get aware of many of the things, positive as well as negative. So their reaction is also in that sense. As far as the country is stuck, as far as the country's developmental programs are seen, it is because of the literacy that country accepts the challenge of any other country throughout the world. Because of all these things, literacy determines the government's policies, and government policies in turn makes a nation a stable nation, a well-developed nation. India and Brazil both are marching towards it. But when population distribution of a nation is compared, in Brazilian area where the Amazon basin is, people reside very less. But when it comes to the Ganga basin in India, it is the third largest population of the world. Now, try to understand what the pressure it is to provide the amenities and facilities to the public. Ganga, because of the availability of the water, because of the availability of many of the agricultural products, because of the availability of the water, agriculture is developed there. Not developed, but fertile land. People are dependent on these areas for their daily livelihood on a large scale. Whereas in Brazil, it is only a catchment of 300 kilometers. An area of 300 kilometers where people at large are residing. That is, when we study about Brazil, if we start to understand this as Brazil, this is the area east and southeast, that majority of the people or the Brazilian highland is the area where people at the most reside. This is not the case in India. You will find Indian people residing in all areas of the India. May it be east, west, north, south. Yes, in the Himalayan tribe, there are few, but that is the area which is inaccessible for living conditions. In the northeast also, the population may be as comparative less, but people are residing there. Even the Rajasthan, the desert, in desert population is less compared to other parts of India. But India's desert have the highest number of the people residing in the deserts of the world compared to other deserts of the world. Now, going through all these scenarios, even in the south, where water is very less or scarcity of water is in the south of India, population is very high. You will find majority of the population particularly on the Godavari river basin. And because of this, all such amenities or natural facilities that are being provided in terms of good soil for agriculture, water, potable water, grasslands, flora, fauna, we will find certain peoples living there. Definitely, as far as Brazil is considered, we again have to understand that in the Amazon river basin, in the swampy lands, people cannot reside. And nature plays a predominant role there. Just like in the second and first range of the Himalaya, that is the Karakoram range or the Trans-Himalayan range, people cannot reside. These are the areas where abundance of snowfall occurs. And because of this, it is not accessible for the humans to settle down there. So this is the land on large scale where people do not settle. But as we come in the Shivalik, that is the lowest area of the Himalaya, we find cities and urban centers in this area. Also, at the foothills of Himalaya, that is the Ganga river basin, from Delhi to Kolkata, is a heavily populated area of the world. This is why Ganga becomes the lifeline of India. In Ganga river, you find many of the religious cities, not only of Hinduism, even Sikhism and Buddhism have their pilgrimage centers on the bank of river Ganga. Also, the other areas that are favorable in ecological balance or ecological way, they maintain the ecology of that areas. For example, as we speak about the dunes, the Dehradun, the Patli Dune, these are the areas where we find various types of plants, animals, because of the availability of the water. But population is high. Population is high compared to that of Brazil. In Brazil, in the north of Brazil, in the western sides of Brazil, in the central parts of Brazil, population is very less. This is not the case in India. All over, east, west, north, south, Gujarat, Maharashtra, or even Orissa, Bengal, Kerala, Tamil Nadu are the areas where heavy population is seen. There is some areas where few population is, and that is because of the jungles of Jharkhand, because of the jungles of Chhattisgarh, even in Maharashtra, that is eastern Maharashtra, Gadchiroli, Chandrapur, Bhandara. These are the areas where, to a certain extent, population cannot say that less, but population is not residing in that area because of the jungles. Also, the laws do not permit to the people to move in that area and reside. So, apart from the water bodies, apart from the hilly tracts, apart from the forest areas, may it be India or Brazil, we find people residing other places. But in the name of development, as population is considered, Brazil's development is going on fast because area is less. People are restricted to certain areas. In India, that is not the case. In India, people are scattered all over the nooks and corners of the nation. And this puts pressure by providing amenities, facilities for the government to each and every area. Huge amount of project works needs requirement of finance. And that is the main problem in the developmental progress of India. But whatever it may it be Brazil or India, both have many problems that are too similar. Deforestation, crime, in the name of development, in the acceptance of technologies from the world over, they are facing problems. But yet, both are developing countries. Hope these developing countries will soon convert into a developed nation.